1-0.
Greetings, fellow barbarians. It is I, Alan Odinson, and this is the Barbarian Lounge podcast. I want to thank everybody for hanging with me today. As always, we have an awesome show lined up for you today. Hopefully a little something to get you fired up, get you motivated, get you moving. Because I know right now a lot of people, man, I've been talking off and on to a lot of people, got a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, a lot of people that I run into throughout my daily dealings in business and whatnot. And motivation's a problem, man. People are having a lot of trouble getting moving. And, I try and direct them to different things and different mantras or whatever that can get them fired up. But sometimes words are not enough. Sometimes you need that little bit of gasoline sprinkled on there in a big, nice, heavy match. Just toss that bad boy in there and light it afire. Because some people will not budge until they get a fire lit under their ass. So that is what we're here to do today. Before we get started, let's get a little bit of that housekeeping out of the way. First off, our website is thebarbarianlounge.com. Go there, check it out. We've got a lot of different stuff on there. We've revamped the website. There's a few new options. Some of the menu options have changed. Some of the front page options have changed. So when you go to that front page, like for instance, you can look to the right and you can find our sponsors listed there, such as PTAFs, Mitacon, Odinson Archery. Those are all there on the side. Some of the tabs and everything has changed as well. You'll notice on those tab pages, you'll see the rants and raves section. That is going to be updated. I'm going to be adding some video, some short video content in there. Also, the articles are listed underneath that rants and raves as well. And while I'm saying that, some of the content I'm going to discuss today is going to be related to an article that I just posted up last night. The title of it is "Give No Quarter." So you can go there, read that article, and it'll kind of give you a little bit of context of what we're going to be talking about today. Also, while you're there, you can check out ways to join the fight. Yes, I've changed that button. Now we have a button that says "Join the Fight." When you basically highlight over that button, you'll have two options. One, which is support the fight, which is a one-time PayPal donation. Not a lot of people some people just don't have the time or whatever to go through all the members' content, so they decide to support the show by just making donations per month or donations every other month, however, and that's how they want to support the show. And that's an option people can choose to follow. So you can definitely support the fight there. Don't get me wrong, we definitely need the support here. We do. It's something I've talked about a good bit. A lot of people are just content to sit on the sidelines. But we have a goal here. We have something we're striving towards. And if you like what you're hearing here and you want to continue to hear my words, hear the different guests and stuff we have on, you need to start supporting the fight there. So that's one option for you. The other option that you can choose to join the fight is to get in the fight. And that is becoming a member on our members site. When you click on that Patreon link, it'll take you to our Patreon page. That is our members page. Now, once you get there, you have several different options that you can use. But first off, if you guys don't understand how Patreon works, basically it's on like a per-show donation basis. So, you donate a certain amount of money, $1, $2, $3, $5, whatever you want to donate per show, and you will get a maximum amount of 8 shows per month. So let's talk about some of the perks and benefits you get. One of those benefits is that you get our 4 regular shows that everybody else hears. You get those early, way ahead of everybody else. Those, as soon as they are recorded, they go right up on the members site. You also gain access to our complete archives, even some of the long-lost interviews. As I told people before, while I update the archives on the main BarbarianLounge.com page, When I update the archives, things are disappearing on there as well. I'm starting to put more and more of our content behind the paywall. So if you want access to all of those shows, all of those long lost interviews, you're going to have to become a member to access them. We're well over, combining our member shows with all of our regular shows that we've done. We're up to like 170 shows, somewhere around that area, counting the interviews as well. And that's the other big thing. By becoming a member, you gain access to 4 exclusive members-only shows that you can only get there on the members page. That's it. They will not be uploaded anywhere else. If for some reason this show falls under, all of those shows will go with it. I will never upload those to anywhere else. So if you're not a member, you will not hear them. So most of you guys are enjoying the content. You're only hearing half the show. Okay, we do 8 shows a month. 8 shows a month. I do no more. If I do less than 8 for some reason, no problem. You don't get charged for them. It's very simple process. It keeps me working, and it also it makes sure that I am giving you exactly what you're paying for, right? I don't want to charge you like a monthly membership and only give you like 2 shows. That would be kind of a dick move. I want to give you what you're paying for. So become a member, man. I've said this till I'm blue in the face, but guys, we're reaching a point in the history of man. We're reaching a point where voices like mine are going to start to disappear. And we're not disappearing because we've lost hope. We're disappearing because we don't have the support to keep ourselves going. We're not supported by big media companies. We're not supported by leftist organizations. We are a very, very small niche group that depends on our listeners. So support your local podcasters. Get out there. Make a donation. Get out there. Become a member. Support the content. If you don't even feel like you can do that, just click the fucking share button. I mean, Jesus, it amazes me how many people will appreciate content, but they will not share it. I mean, are you in this fight or not? It's real simple. Are you in the fight or are you not? If you're not, then just enjoy your popcorn in the stands over there and watch as the men on the field do the work. We've got to start supporting ourselves here. We've got to start supporting ourselves with a network that we can build to support our own people who are putting out the message and the content that we want to hear. That's why the left is winning. That is. And I've told you, if you're new to this show, this isn't, I don't run a show that's based off of giving you the rah, 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 here we go, look at us, we're winning mentality. No, we're falling behind. And we're falling behind because voices like mine, voices like some of the others out there, we don't have the support of the people that are listening to us. You are as much a part of this as I am on this end of the mic. Okay? So get out there, support your local podcasters, become a member, make a one-time donation, go to our shop and check out those thuggy strangulation cords that we have in there. We're going to be adding some new things to the shop very, very soon. I've had a few ideas kind of fall through on me, but I've got one coming up that I think is going to be very beneficial, so stay tuned for that. Our sponsors help keep things running here. Our PTAFs, p-tafs.com. Check out Paige Cable. Man, she's got some Aaron Cable, Aaron Page Cable. Man, Aaron's running she does online and in-person personal training. And there's a lot of different options that you can choose to contact her. p-tafs, TAFS.com. You can find the link right there on the main page. If you go to the main page of the Barbarian Lounge, you go over there to the right, and there it is. There's the link. Click on it. Plus, always, there's information on the show notes page as well for each and every show. But if you're looking for personal training, you're looking for a way to get your diet right. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, my Instagram stories and whatnot, I've been spending a lot of time working to get my diet in order, and I'm down. I clocked in this yesterday at 239. Okay, so and I'm not actually able to do a lot of the lifting that I was doing just because of that shoulder injury I told you guys about. I'm giving it plenty of time to get healed up, so it's a lot of I'm not able to do all the heavy lifting that I used to do. But once that thing gets fully rehabbed, I'll be right back at it again. But, if you're looking to get in fighting shape, group fitness, children's fitness, Jesus Christ, our kids need to be in shape. Aaron Cable's the way to go. Check them out, p-tafts.com, or you can just find the link there on the main page of the barbarianlounge.com. Click on it, take you right where you need to go. As always, information is on the show notes page. Our other sponsor, Odinson Archery, traditional bows made from non-traditional materials. Go there and experience the difference. OdinsonArchery.com. There's a lot of different stuff coming out. The 2018 line is about to debut at Blade Show 2018 in a few weeks, which I will be down in Hotlanta. I will be there at the Blade Show, and you will find me. I'll be wandering around all over the place. So I'll be there if you want to hang out, if you want to meet me and say what's up. I'm going to be in business mode, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm if I might be kind of preoccupied sometimes, but that's the hustle, man. That's the hustle. So check them out, OdinsonArchery.com. Also, if you're not familiar with our network, UCY.TV, check them out. There's a lot of good shows over there. A lot of people having a lot of different content, a lot of different subject areas. And UCY.TV is our network. And we thank you, UCY, for being brave enough to carry the Barbarian Lounge on your show. I think that's about it, guys. Let's jump into what I wanted to talk about today. So I did the article a few days ago. Or actually, I don't know what time you'll be listening to this, but I posted an article up on the page under the Rants and Raves section. If you highlight that, you'll see it pop down where it says Articles, and you click on that, and you'll see the article entitled "Give No Quarter." And I opened it up with the quote from Edward Teach, also known as Blackbeard. If you guys know me, I like the pirate culture. I like some of the mentality that they had, and Edward Teach is no different. He's one of our own Carolina coastal pirates, and I opened it up with his quote of "Damnation seize my soul if I give you any quarter or take any from you," and I think that's a very, very important thing to look at. In a lot of different aspects. First off, as it relates to one of the main things that people look into immediately when they hear that whole idea about give no quarter is they think about fighting, right? Whether it be fighting with your fist, fighting with handguns, fighting with weaponry, whatever it may be, in a physical altercation. I am not a fan of giving quarter to the enemy. I'm not a fan of the fair fight, right? When I was growing up, it was always told, it was told to me, son, you need to make sure that, I don't mind if you get in a fight, if you have to defend yourself, but never never throw the first punch, right? That was what we always heard. I don't ever want you to throw the first punch. As I've evolved over the years, and I'm a martial arts instructor, I've been teaching martial arts for quite a while, and I work with kids now, and I absolutely implore them to throw the first punch. Some of you are thinking, holy shit, what are you talking about? You want the kids to punch first? Yes, I do. Because the reason being is I look at a punch in the same aspect as any sort of violent altercation. Any sort of violent altercation, let's change it over and say they have a knife, right? Are you going to allow them the first stab of the knife fight? Or let's say they got a gun. You're going to allow them the first shot. You give them the first shot, and then you can fight back. That's some of the asinine policies that get people killed. I've heard shit like that. Some of our military brethren that are listening to this show, you guys have been put in the in that sort of clusterfuck of a situation, right? Let the enemy shoot at you first. Well, what happens if the first shot is the only shot that's needed? What about that, Mr. Officer that sits behind the desk and orders us out into the field, huh? It's no different for fighting with your hands. The first punch may be the last punch of the fight, right? Maybe the only one you need. Ideally, when I train, that's my mentality. First punch is the only punch I want. right? I want that to be the glorious first punch that ends the altercation. In a wonderful, wonderful world, that's how it goes down. It's no different, though. I mean, it's no different than any other sort of fight. I do not want to actually give the invitation of them to join the fight with me. I want the fight to be on before they even know what's happening. Why? Because I want to go home tonight. Really simple. You may say, well, you know, you're starting the fight, though. Oh, am I? Am I starting the fight? Let's think about that for a minute. Well, if you know anything about violence, if you've studied the behavior of individuals who are about to engage in a violent confrontation, whether it be academically or you've done work in security. I've done work personally, working as a doorman at times, bouncer if you will, inside clubs, working the doors. I've worked private security around different facilities, even going all the way down to being like a night watchman. I mean, I've done all different levels of security, even going up to the highest level of nuclear security. Okay, I'm a security guy, right? I have a lot of reps in working security. And whenever shit goes down, I automatically enter security mode. It's crazy. I guess it's all the years of doing it. But there's certain things, when you study how people interact with each other, there's certain things that you pick up on. One of those things is the certain physical cues that let you know that the fight is getting ready to happen. Right? When the fight is about to go down, you know when it's coming. If you have a trained eye. And you see, when I'm training my students, that's what I'm teaching them. I say, look, you know, we're looking for physical cues here. We're looking for shifts in body weight. We're looking for how their feet are standing, where their hands are. Are they trying to get closer? Are they trying to move away? You know, are they with a group of people? Are their hands fumbling around in their pockets? All these different things will let me know when the fight's about to go down. You can ask anybody that's ever been in a street altercation, and most of them will tell you they knew ahead of time that they were probably getting ready to get into a fight. Once you reach that moment, why am I waiting to punch last? Right? If we're going to fight anyway, hell, let's get it on right now. I want to be surprised. You know, it's kind of like I always kind of talk and pick at some of the knife fighting styles that are completely based off of ambush tactics, right? It's like you see like guys training with a knife, and the guy's got the knife, and the other guy the guy he's fighting doesn't have a knife, and I'm like, exactly how much skill, exactly how much refinement of this skill do you need to basically attack an unarmed person with a blade, right? You know, I always joke about, I call it those systems the surprise motherfucker, I got a knife. You know, those sorts of systems. But you know, there's certain cues that you're going to pick up on. So maybe in that situation, maybe they noticed the guy had a pistol and he was reaching for it. I don't know. I can try and make excuses for him either way. But my point is you recognize certain cues of when the fight's going to take place. When that's going to happen, we're not inviting them to the fight. Oh, we're going to fight. Well, okay. Well, let's establish the rules here, and we will use we'll use a full contact yet open hand strike to the face. You know, that sort of thing. No, that's not what we're doing. We're getting ready to throw down. One of us is going to get hurt, and the other one is not. For the most part, the type of person I am, and people may not believe this when they listen to the way I talk, I'm generally a nice person, man. I'm one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I do not fight. I do not fight just for the hell of it. Not anymore. I'm a little older now, guys. But when it is time to fight, though, motherfucker, I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay? And when that fight starts, there's no quarter going to the enemy. It's going to go. We're going to fight until they cannot fight anymore, in whatever form that may come in. It's no different with guns, right? I hear people, oh, you know, shoot him in the leg, shoot him in the arm. Couldn't you just? That's my favorite though. Can't you just shoot him in the leg? Yeah, because there's no arteries that run down the leg, right? Oh, wait, the pesky femoral artery. We'll shoot him in the shoulder. Oh, yeah, that's fine because there's no arteries there. Oh, damn, that old subclavian and brachial artery running down in that area. Shit. It's crazy to me when people talk about drawing a handgun to wound. No. Any weapon that you pull out, there's no quarter given here. There's no quarter given. I'm not shooting. I'm shooting you, or I'm using this weapon until you cannot attack me anymore. Now, obviously, I'm crossing the line when if I walk up and give you the coup de grace. You don't do that, right? You don't. If a guy's down, you're breaking the law when you walk up and shoot him in the head. Of course, that doesn't apply to communists, heroin dealers, or any sort of other child molesters or human traffickers. In that case, you're justified under natural law, as far as I'm concerned. But I digress. So I'm not going to offer these people any sort of sympathy. Now, I take this in the article and I spin it around even more and say, let's look at it even from a business standpoint. So, from a business standpoint, you're going to find just as much cutthroat action there as you're going to find in any other aspect of your life. Business is business, man. And everybody's out there looking to make that dollar. And if you don't think they'll step on you, crush you and claw you and put their foot on your throat in order to get there, you are sadly mistaken. I found it even in my business with running Odinson archery. I find the same thing there, right? I find the same thing. And most of the time, it's done by the larger archery companies that are out there. They do their best to throw out disinformation campaigns. They do their best to try and downgrade the product that I offer. Now, how could I respond to that? I could say, well, they've been around a long time, and they've got a lot of history and a lot of tradition, and I understand where they're coming from, and yeah, I know their products are this way and that way, and they're carried here and everything. No! That's not the way. What I see that is now we're in a fight. We're not in a physical altercation, but we're actually in a business altercation here. And they're the big bad bully, and I'm the little guy at the bottom of the totem pole that says, you know what? You're not pushing me out. You're not pushing me out. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you how that works, though. When you decide you're going to give the enemy no quarter, because these companies up there, if they came to me today and said, Odinson, let me tell you what, I would give you, a buyout here. We want to buy you out. Okay? I would tell them to kiss my ass. Kiss my ass. Because you guys were laughing at me. You were trying to put me down. All the companies that are out there that I tried to push my product through before I started my own thing, just saying, hey, I got this skill. I can help you out, and do this. And those people that pushed me away, who's laughing now? But let me tell you, it doesn't have anything to do, I haven't taken the first loan from any sort of bank. I haven't borrowed any money from anybody. It's all been small time building, and building one little bit at a time. I laid the foundation, and one brick at a time, I have built my castle. And let me tell you something, my friends, that doesn't come by having the mentality that you're just going to roll over. You see, some people, when they get knocked down, they'll lay there and they'll cry, and they're, oh, man, that hurt really bad. How could you do that? I mean, man, you didn't have to hit me that hard. Me? I get back up. I get right back up, and I look them in the face, and I say, that was a good shot, but is that all you got? Because here I am. I'm right here. Now we really get to fight. Because now I know what it takes. I got an idea now about how hard you can punch. And guess what? Now I realize that not only can I be hit, which that's important to understand as well, you're not invincible. Not only can I be hit, but I can survive it and get back up. And now I know your best moves. And that's where I'm going to beat you. And that's the way I've been able to grow from small time to big time. That's the reason now those other big companies out there, let me tell you something. They're not having their material, their product, they're not having their product carried in Recoil Magazine or American Survival Guide like I have. Why? Because I get out there like a real person and I do the work. Those guys are sitting up in their ivory towers. They're sitting up there while they got their people down the sweatshop running their little machines that create these fucking, cookie cutter bows. Instead, with me, I'm out there actually on the ground. I'm in my vehicle. I'm going places. I'm meeting people. I'm talking to them personally, setting them up with things, a custom order specifically designed for them. That's what separates us from them. I've talked about that concept many, many times. Them, the other big companies that are out there that think they've already made it. Hey, we can sell one bow for what you sell 5 for. That's fine. Yes, you can. How many of those are you selling a month? Because I can guarantee you when you add up what I'm making and figure in your overhead and everything you're having to pay out, I'm kicking your ass. And that's the difference. I'm not giving these people any quarter. I'm not giving them the ability to keep me down. Let me tell you something. I've been laughed at, I've been mocked, and people have had zero faith in the product that I was offering. But you know what? Fuck them. You've got to be willing to look the enemy in the face and say, hey, you know what? You do what you will, but I'm coming. I'm coming. That's what people don't understand. But you may not even be a businessman, right? You may not be a businessman. Let me say this real quick. Excuse me. Let me say this real quick too. A lot of people think this all comes easy. They think it's an easy route, right? Or they say, well, I just don't have the business mentality that you do, Odinson. Or anybody else that they've seen built businesses. I don't really have that same mentality. Well, let me tell you something, guys. If you rip up the foundation of what I built, if you rip up that foundation and look there, you will see the carcasses, many carcasses. It will be like a mass grave of ideas and businesses that have failed. What's the old saying that I've heard from Conor McGregor's coach, John Kavanagh, where he says, you either win or you learn, right? There's no losing. It took all of that failure and all those years and years and years of failure and trying this and trying that to get where I am today. But most people are afraid to fall. They're afraid to fail. It's like I said, when you get hit and you go down, that's also a good thing because you can be hit. You say, okay, that's what it's like to be hit. There are many people, man. I've had people come to my Muay Thai classes. They'll come in there and they'll hit the pads, and they look like a world beater, right? The first time they get punched in the face, they're like, oh my God. What is this? It's like, yeah, the other person can punch back. Right? And you can tell these people have never been punched in the face. So now it's gotten to the point when I bring people into class, one of the first things I want them to do is get punched in the face. I'll put them on the wall and I say, okay, we're going to go 3 minutes. The other guy's going to be punching you. You're not allowed to move. All you're allowed to do is cover up. And yes, you're going to get hit. All over. That's part of the process. It's no different with business models. It's no different with any sort of business model you do. You're going to have people that are going to try to bring you down. You're going to have people that are going to laugh at you. You're going to have people that say, hey, it's not going to work. You can't do that. Why don't you just get a regular job? Yes, you can do that. That is absolutely an option you have. But when you do that, you have made the choice that you are going to give quarter on that day to your ideas. You're going to allow these people, whom, for the most part, people that tell you that, oh, you can't do that. You'll never make a, that's what people told me about archery. You'll never make a living doing archery. I said, you're right. You will never make a living doing it. On the other hand, it's going to be a different story. Because there's no other option. This is it. This is what I do. And out of that is where things like this podcast come from. People told me, they're like, man, there's no way you'll be able to keep a podcast going like that. Oh, man, people aren't going to want to become members and listen to you. Man, people aren't going to want to do sponsors for your show. You were wrong. Do not attach your failures and never allow other people to attach their failures to you. People will tell me, oh, you can't do that. I say, hey, man, don't take the failures that you have and the lack of fortitude, the ability to have the endurance to go through the trials and tribulations. Don't take all that and attach it to me. My life has been built on people telling me that I can't do things and me proving them wrong. You can't make a living doing archery. Did it. But you can't leave that job. You got such great benefits and you're making good money. I did it. You'll never be able to fight in MMA. It's never going to happen, dude. You don't have the ability to do it right now. I did it. Professional submission grappling. How are you going to go in there and compete against these guys that are world champion black belts? Are you kidding me? You don't even have a belt. I did it. Beat one of them. Alright? You'll never be able to box professionally. You have minimal boxing ability. Did it. Got my ass kicked. Came back, did it again, and won. You'll never be able to get into pro wrestling. Professional wrestling, how are you going to get into pro wrestling? I did it for over 6 years. I've got a video from High Spots Wrestling, Best of the Southern Indies, with my match as the main event. I've competed against WWE superstars, former WCW superstars, NWA superstars, former ECW champions. I held every title in the promotion that I was a part of, multiple times. I've done autograph signings. I mean, Jesus Christ. It can be done. But we have to have that perseverance. We have to have the ability to say, you know, when people are attacking you with their ideas, they're expecting you to yield. They're expecting you to yield. Because contrary to what you may think, a lot of people do not want to see you succeed if they're not successful. All the people I know of that's ever wanted to see me succeed, outside of family, obviously, those people were successful. Everyone that I know outside of family that has ever wanted to see me succeed was already successful. Everyone that ever tried to bring me down were not. They worked their 9 to 5 that they hated. You know, they got off work, they went home, sat in their chair, ate their cheesy poofs while they watched fucking Dancing with the Stars or whatever fucking, you know, reality TV show they're watching, because that reality TV show is more entertaining than the reality they live every single day. Those are the people that try to bring you down. And to those people, the them of the world, those people, I offer no quarter to them. Those people that come back after I've made it and I've worked hard. Those people that come to me and say, hey, you know, man, I could really use some help here. Yeah, you know what? There was a point I could have used some help too. But you offer me no quarter. I don't want quarter from you. I didn't need quarter from you. And I'm damn sure not given any back in return. I see the same thing a lot with people who are even in the workforce. And this is the thing, right? You don't have to be a businessman. You don't have to be the type of person that wants to create a business. That's not for everybody. And I'll tell you right now, 100%, I say this with all seriousness whatsoever, running a business is not for everybody. It is not, man. I'm telling you, I bumblefuck my way through it. Without a doubt. I have no business degrees. You know, I don't have any of that shit. I am educated. I'm self-educated in that aspect of things. And I still make a lot of mistakes. I do a lot of good things. And sometimes I do things so outside the box, people that are in the business world go, damn, that's revolutionary. I never thought of that. But also, with running a business, it will not only be one of the most rewarding things you'll ever do, it'll also be one of the most stressful things you'll ever do. Because there's no guarantee that you're getting paid. There's no guarantee you're getting paid that week. And that is not for everybody. And trust me, if you think so far I'm saying in order to be successful, you have to have a business, no, absolutely not. You can be the most successful motherfucker in your job. That's one thing a lot of people don't get too, right? Oh, well, you know, all I do is wash dishes. My question is, were you the best fucking dishwasher they got? Seriously, right? You know, I sell cars. Are you the best salesman? Is your name at the top of the list of sales every single month? If it isn't, why not? Right? Why are you not living up to your potential? And I mean, when I used to work, not even, I was going to say when I used to work in the printing, my first job out of school was in the printing industry. I run the gigantic freaking printers, and I ran an insert machine that basically what it does is like for instance, say you take, we would get jobs daily of like 10,000 statements, right? Like medical statements. And you run this machine that basically folds them, puts them in an envelope, adds the little return envelope and the inserts and all that shit that goes with it, and it's one big process. Typically, to run one of those machines, you had to have two people to run it. I ran the machine by myself. And I also run my machine faster than everybody else. Why? Because I was determined that I was going to be the best at that job. At that time, that was really the only skill set I had. That was the only thing I had at the time. This is what I do, and this is my job. But I made the decision that I was going to do that better than anybody else. And that was why at 19 years old, I was a supervisor. Because I could do, when my machine broke, because I would run my machine like crazy. I was like, you know how people will do like mods and stuff on their phones, and they'll mod this and mod that to make it run more efficient and everything. They do it on computers and whatnot. I was modding my machine, you know. I'm like, well, I got one spring here, and if one spring, if I run it too fast, the spring bounces and it messes the machine up. But if I add two springs, then it won't bounce. And these guys that would come work on the machines would like curse me. They're like, damn it, quit doing this to the machines. But that was the sort of things that I did, right? So, we know when the machines broke, everyone else, they would go like sit down and, take a break. I was there watching the guy fix it. So it got to the point when my machine would break, I could fix it myself. Right? That makes me a valuable member of that team. Because at that time, I had no intents whatsoever of building a business. I had no intents of doing anything. Man, I was a 19-year-old kid. I just wanted to go to work. I wanted to make good money because I had minimal bills at the time. I wanted to make some money. I wanted to go home, get some takeout, watch some TV, and play some video games. That was all I wanted to do at 19. That's it. I mean, that was the type of 19-year-old I was. But when it was time to work, I busted my ass to prove to everyone around that I was the best at what I did. It's no different for you guys or anybody else. When it comes time, when the time comes, let's say and I can use myself as an example here. When promotions roll around, who do you think they're looking for? Who do you think they're looking for? Let's say, for instance, they've got two people that are trying to get the same position, right? So we've got the ability to promote somebody to a new position, which more money, better hours. That usually isn't the case, but we'll play imagination here. We'll say a promotion to a better position. More money's enough for a lot of people sometimes. And one person does a pretty average job. They do, it's down to these last two people. One of the people, they come in, they're on time, and they show up right as the clock is ticking. they go up there and, they set their machine up and they start running it, and they've got it running at a decent pace, It's running at a decent pace, and, they do a pretty good job. When it's time for break, they go take their break. When it's time for lunch, they go take their lunch, and they're right back on time, and that's that. Whenever it hits 5 o'clock, they're the first one to clock out, and they're out of there. Now let's take the second person. The second person shows up a little bit earlier. When they get there, they do the job of two different people, right? They do the job of two different people. They're a jack of all trades. They know every little ins and outs of the business, including the paperwork, right? They got a little bit of knowledge of the warehouse, right? And when it comes time for breaks, they'll say, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to work through my break today. And you know what? You guys need a little OT today? Maybe we're going to be rushing a little bit. I tell you what, I'll stay over a little bit and help out. Who do you think's going to get the promotion? Who do you think's getting the promotion that day? You guys know it's probably going to be number 2. And there's a good reason for that. They have shown the initiative and the ability that they are going to get out there and outwork the competition. And in this instance, the competition is this other motherfucker here that's vying for the same job that you are. But that's always been the goal, man. We work to the best of our ability to prove we're the best at what we do. That's it. It's plain and simple. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing you got to understand. This world, when Blackbeard said, "Damnation seize my soul. If I give you any quarter or take any from you," this world is not going to give you anything. Nothing is owed to you. See, when I was growing up, there weren't people there telling me this. So I'm thinking that everything's just going to come, and I'm going to get things, and that's just the way it goes, right? My business, all those failed business ventures I had before, I thought, well, business is open. Here we go. Come on in. And I didn't want to do any of the work. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way nature works. Okay? And we're seeing a generation right now that's coming up that is sadly mistaken that that's the way things work. And that's why it's important for voices like mine, voices like yours, to even repeat some of the things I'm saying, whether it be through your own words or through the actions that you take that show an example to these people that this is what it means. This is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to be an individual that is not willing to just lay down and expect to roll over and show your belly to this world that it's going to give you something in the process. That's not the way it goes down, guys. And I mean, I've seen it a lot with in my own business dealings. I've seen it also when I was working. At times, there were times that I showed up and I was just there to collect a paycheck. A lot of people they're just there to collect a paycheck, and that tends to lead to a life of meaninglessness. It does. I mean, they're like, it's another 9 to 5. No, why does it have to be another 9 to 5? What sort of things are you putting in place to make it better? When I was working the last job I had before I opened up my business, the whole time I was there, I knew I was working for a less than savory individual. And I was working, and I hated it, but I knew every single time I got up on the way there, I was making plans. I was setting things up, I was putting money back, and I was slowly making moves, moving pieces on the chessboard. Till the time come when I was ready, and I walked out with my head held high. I was not concerned where the bills were going to get paid. I was not concerned whether or not I was going to be able to feed myself or help my family out in any way. No, I already had those things set up. I already had the wheels in motion. But a lot of people aren't planning that way. But let me tell you something, man. It's funny to me how people will allow themselves. They'll allow themselves to be so influenced by the weak thoughts of other people that they will stand down when the times come to put the pressure on. I see that a ton. I see that a ton with people. And it's funny to me, and this is where the whole no quarter thing comes in, right? Because that's the time where when people come at you with that weak shit, that's when it's time to show no quarter to that mentality. That has no place here whatsoever. No place whatsoever. Like when I'm running my school and I'm teaching people, when they come in there with this mentality, oh man, I'm just kind of dragging today. Guess what? Full contact sparring today. And the reason being is because this world outside these doors, it does not care whether you're dragging or you didn't sleep too well, you're not feeling well, any of that shit. It does not care. It is there to step on you, crush you. It will put its boot in your face and stand there and hold you down. That's reality. But we're so disconnected from that now. Everyone is so disconnected and think that everything's going to be given to them on a silver platter. That's not the way of the world. You know, when you're going for that promotion, when you're going for that, let's say you're a single guy. I use this example. Let's say you're a single guy. You're going for that promotion at work, right? Let's say maybe it's a sales. Let's say you're in sales. Okay? We'll say car sales. You're in car sales. You're going for that promotion at work. And you really want to be noticed, and man, you really like to have it. You're a single guy, you know, your bills are minimal, you know, you're doing well with the money you're making. But yet we have Stan over here, right? I use the terminology of Stan from accounting. We have Stan over there. He's a nice little soft, liberal type individual. But for the most part, Stan's a nice guy. He's got a pretty expensive mortgage. He's got a wife. He's got 2 kids. You know, he's got credit card debt, and you know, Stan does a good job too. And both of you are deserving of that particular promotion. When it comes time for the promotion, for them to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to give Stan quarter? Oh, well, you know, he needs it more. Or are you going to outwork Stan and crush him? I would hope that your answer is outwork Stan and crush him. Because I can assure you that if Stan has the opportunity, he's going to crush you in the process. Because that is exactly what he should do. That is exactly what he should do. He should stomp you. He should smash you. He should do what needs to be done to outwork you, outperform you, and make you look worse than he is solely through his hard work. I'm not talking about, you know, underhanded, dirty dealings or anything like that. No, I'm talking about good, hard American work. The foundations that this nation was built off of. Foundations your forefathers laid through the very same actions. Hard work. Dirt under their fingernails. I remember my dad used to come home from work. He worked on vehicles, and he would have to, I'd watch him sit there with a pocket knife and pull the grease out from underneath his fingernails. That sort of work. Because let me tell you something, Stan's not owed shit. You're not owed shit. You get what you're willing to work for. But when the time comes where you see what you want and you want to seize your fortune, Stan's walking the plank. We'll send Stan right back home. He goes overboard. We'll send Stan right back home to his weeping wife and children. Because no quarter. Stan is one of the them. He's not one of us. And you see that idea of us and them, that idea of us and them is a vital thing to think about here. Because we need to start looking at supporting each other. Okay? The world out there, my granddaddy used to say, you can be in the world but not of the world. And that's very true. The world out there, all of us, we're a part of the world. We're a part of that society, but we do not have to be of that society. A weak society that stands down and is always cowering and looking up to the people on high, the people who've achieved great things, the society that looks up to them and thinks of them as some sort of demigod. They could never get that high. For men of fortune, men like us, We know those people are no different than we are. And the fundamentals that got them there, we can do that ourselves. But let me tell you something. Some of those people come from money. Some of those people have support networks. That's how they got there. Folks like you and I, you see, they look at us down here at the bottom. They think that we're not willing to do the work to get there. But they have underestimated our ability to climb. They have underestimated our ability to dig our claws into the side of that mountain and climb right to the top where they're at. And once we get there, we'll put our boot right in their ass and say, get off my mountaintop. It's real simple. You get what you work for. There's so much of this blame game bullshit that's out there. Oh, you know, it's just so much harder, and my life is this. Man, there's been people who have done more with less. And that's the God's honest truth. But, you know, I look at it too when in the concept of us and them. You know, we need, as I talked about before, about supporting your local podcasters, supporting people that are out there doing the work. Because the them that's out there, the fucking Joe Rogans and the other ridiculous podcasts and stuff that are out there that are talking about nothing, those sorts of people out there that are supporting all the shows that are out there supporting liberal agendas, all the shows that are out there supporting the gun control mentality, all the shows that are out there supporting communist Antifa activity, all of those groups out there, they have a massive support network, and their people are greatly loyal. Why do ours have to be any different? There's no reason. The time to set up those support networks is now. Support your brothers and sisters in their business ventures. Hell, even if you're not fucking interested, click a like button, because everybody on your friends list will see it. Right? We've got to start setting up these situations right now where we can start supporting each other, because there's no way that we're going to survive in the long term. Because I think to myself right now about this. I say, okay, well, you know, right now, people are willing to yield and bow down to the people that are trying to impose these weak mindsets on them. You know, they'll bow down, okay, all right, you know, whatever, rather than giving them no quarter. And I just ask myself, some of the same people I see doing these things, some of these same people are the ones that talk about when the empire falls, we shall rise and take over and everything. How can you expect to do what you're going to need to do during that time when everything's at stake? How can you be expected to give no quarter then when you won't give no quarter now to these same people when very little is at stake? We need to set those clear lines of division between us and them. And we can be part of them, but we support the us in the process. I think this is an important lesson for us to apply. As I've said, we can apply this in many different aspects of our lives. In everything we do, man. I'm a very competitive person, in case you can't tell. I'm a very competitive person. I hate losing. All right? I do not like to lose. When I lose, I get pretty fucking irate about losing. And I don't, it used to be I would get upset when I lost. I would get upset because they beat me. But now I get upset because I allowed myself to be beaten. It's no different than anything else you do. Whether it's physical fighting, whether it's in business ventures, whether it's at the job you have right now. You're stuck there. You're stuck, man. I ain't got a promotion in years. Why are you still there? Why are you not getting a promotion? Is there something physically blocking you from getting that promotion? If it is, you need to start making plays to move on. If there's nothing there blocking you other than your lack of fortitude, your lack of ability to get out there and do the work, well, that's on you. The most empowering thing that you can ever say to yourself is any bad thing that happens to you, any bad thing that happens to you was your fault. I know for a lot of people that's a difficult thing to hear, but it goes back to the terminology I heard from SIOC of, there are no victims, only volunteers. Stop volunteering. Stop volunteering to be crushed by the competition. Competition is about winning. It's not about sportsmanship. It's not about any of that shit. It's about winning. We give no quarter to the enemy. When you give quarter to the enemy, you are in turn failing yourself. If they are an enemy, if they are outside of you, if you're willing to do something to help somebody else at the sake of harming you in the process, you are fucking up. What exactly have these people done to earn quarter from you? What sort of privilege were they born with that outweighs that which you have? Are they some sort of alien creature with a different type of blood type than you? Huh? Can they fly? Are they some fucking Ubermensch? No. What you see others do, you can do as well. But the only way you're ever going to be able to do that is if you're willing to go out there with the mentality of you are going to win today, you are going to give no quarter to any blockade, any enemy, any fighting force that gets in front of you. You will give them no quarter. If they want to stop your progress, no quarter to the enemy. We will plow through their lines and we will leave a wasteland of their carcasses. Plain and simple, guys. It's plain and simple. Alright, guys, I'm fired the fuck up, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully this lights a fire underneath some people, man, and get you guys out there. And like I said, man, whatever you do, you get out there and you do it the best of your ability. You prove you're the best at what it is you're doing. I don't care if it's fucking folding laundry, you're gonna fold the best fucking laundry that anyone has ever seen before. That is how some of these marquee ideas have ever come up. You think, how does somebody get paid for that? They did it because they were willing to give no quarter to the people that wanted to downgrade their thoughts, and they had the audacity to go out and pull it off. Alright, guys, we're going to wrap it up here, so hope you guys enjoyed the show. As always, I enjoyed doing it. So now, my fellow barbarians, this broadcast of the Barbarian Lounge is closed.
Question everything. Intelligent radio for intelligent people. UCY.tv